but I do have, I brought with my grandfather's words, who was here. He was a Hungarian Jew. He came on the train and went a little farther. You know, he was from the same town as Elie Wiesel. And this is his memoir. So, you know, in lieu of my own reflection, I wanna bring his. So, actually, reading this book on the plane here, he talks about what his life was like before the war, and he says, among the books we did have in the house was the Noam Elimelech, a book by Rabbi Elimelech of Lezhensk, a Polish Hasidic master that was highly regarded in our region for both its intellectual and its mystical power. So reading that, I was sort of, you know, overwhelmed with the intersection of two paths, that he had Elimelech before Auschwitz, and now I'm here with Elimelech once more. So I want to read what his recollection of his arrival at Auschwitz was. After jumping off the train, I walked along the Auschwitz platform, the ramp, with people all around me. Somehow, I must have walked back and forth because I spotted Mother, who told me that Grandfather was going in another direction and said, "Don't let the old father go alone." She told me to go find him, so I did. And on the way back, I met the chief rabbi of Sighet, his town, who was also a Hasidic Rebbe. And he describes him. And in Yiddish, the rabbi said to me, "Let's stick together." And before we had time to exchange another word, we were standing before Mengele. Mengele grabbed Grandfather, who was 80 years and 3 months old, by the scruff of his neck, and pushed him to the right. I didn't know and there was some exchange between Mengele and the chief rabbi. I didn't know what they were talking about. Since my grandfather saw all the prominent members of his congregation, including the president, going to the right, he may have wanted to go there too. So Mengele accommodated him and pushed him to the right, and then turned to me saying, "And you?" Before I could give him an answer, I instinctively ran to the left. Mengele gave me a blow with his whip, and this is how I went to the left and Grandfather went to the right. Within 2 hours after Mengele parted us, Reb Shaya Sigeder was no more, and it's for him that my father is named Shai. He was consumed by the flames of Auschwitz, by the crematoria. I had always thought that I would be with him until he drew his last breath. I failed him. I was not there. Others, plenty of others, were there. But whether that made his death easier or more difficult, I do not know. I was not there to tell. It's a very special group of people that is here. And I'm glad I've had the opportunity to be here with everyone, to sort of carry on my memories and my traditions and my family's, the light of my family, and share that with everyone. So I spent the last week in Israel, and I spent some time with my grandfather, who's a survivor of Auschwitz and other labor camps. And one of the things that he told me is that in other camps there wasn't a window like this where someone could look in. There was someone who was sent to turn on the gas before going into the chamber, before everyone was put in, and then that person had to turn it off when the deed was done. And what my Saba said was that the way this man knew to turn off the gas was that he could no longer hear people saying Shema Yisrael in their last moments.
We come a little bit closer. Come a little closer back. Maybe to remember those victims, to remember those holy martyrs. The memorial, say we'll never forget. We'll make that ultimate declaration of being Jewish. We said it in a couple places in Tikochin and this morning in the shul. Maybe together Avidan will lead us in the Shema. One strong Shema for those people, for those tens of thousands who died here. That we know, we actually, if there's any kind of nechama, any kind of comfort, that we are their future. We are their future. That will never be forgotten. You ready? Shema Yisrael.